When it comes to the state of our education, the state wants to bring standardized testing to a halt this spring. As 7 Eyewitness News senior reporter Eileen Buckley explains, state leaders want to suspend testing in the name of fairness.
The assessments right now are going to have to be responsive to the differences in the environments that each child experienced during this pandemic.
With all the different learning circumstances students are facing because of COVID, the New York State Education Department has posted this draft letter on its website addressed to the U.S. Department of Education. It reads in part, "We have determined that the spring 2021 state assessments cannot be safely, equitably, and fairly administered to students in schools across the state. Students in some districts, like Buffalo, have not been in a classroom since last March." SUNY Buffalo State's Dean of the School of Education, Wendy Patterson, says the state assessments were not created for remote learning.
Sometimes we're discounting the impact of all of this remote learning and the responsibility that we're placing on families and parents.
But Buffalo school parent Jessica Bauer-Walker says there still must be some type of assessment to measure student learning.
There's been a significant amount of learning loss, so we need to find some way to kind of assess where we're at and make sure that kids aren't falling through the cracks.
Bauer-Walker says she's very worried about equity for children in city schools.
Because I'm really concerned that kids are falling through the cracks and that we do need to make sure that they're doing okay.
The State Education Department is seeking stakeholder input, posting this survey asking school leaders, teachers, parents, and community members if they believe assessment should not be given this spring. The New York State United Teachers is also calling for a federal waiver to stop the ELA and math assessments for 3rd through 8th graders, as well as the Regents tests for high schoolers.
If you haven't had a standardized mode of instruction all year, that you shouldn't have one standardized test at the end of the year to measure the student's progress.
In Buffalo, Eileen Buckley, 7 Eyewitness News.